All right, welcome to another episode of Film Buff Bros. And this week we're going to be comparing the original True Grit from 1969 to the Coen Brothers True Grit from 2010.
Yes, sir.
All right, first impressions?
First impressions, I hadn't seen the original in a while. I like the original, and because I like John Wayne movies as well. I love the film stock look of the film in 69. Great music by Elmer Bernstein, and nice cameos from Hopper, Duvall. There's a lot of great things about this film. What do you think about this?
It's colorful. It's typical for the 1960s westerns. Like, it's a little like hokey. Like the scoring is jovial and inappropriate at times for some of the like serious and dire subject matter. John Wayne he's like intentionally humorous. It's like there's a real like dichotomy, or he's either like being like humorous, like for the first like act and a half he's like very humorous, and then he gets serious towards the end. And also halfway through, I think the scoring starts to actually match the mood and subject matter. And it has a pleasantly happy ending. Yeah, so I mean it's very 60s, very fairy tale-esque.
Yeah, the ending was where she dies, right? The young girl dies in the original ending.
No, she doesn't die.
I thought she does die in the original.
No, she does not die.
Maybe I missed that. Okay.
Yeah. It ends with them at the graveyard where she's like, "I want you to be buried with me," or whatever.
Right. Okay, that's where it ends. Okay.
Property, yeah.
I like the innocent girl who's like dead set on revenge, and her like resolve throughout that is like, it's nice to see like an innocent like girl like that's like dead set on getting her revenge.
Kind of ahead of its time in that way. It's
totally.
Like kind of a feminist fucking movie.
Yeah. It looked dirtier to me. It just looked like more like the real West. It was shot on location, probably why.
Wait, you're talking about the Coen Brothers one?
No, original.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt that one like just didn't look as prettier. The humor I thought was fantastic. I really enjoyed the humor, and I loved the conflict back and forth from Rooster and the girl. Cinematography was breathtaking, beautiful. Hopper's death in the water was great. Such a build-up in the movie. Some of the transitions were kind of awkward, but all in all, I really loved Duvall as the villain, and the film itself. Would recommend it to people. Yeah,
me too. When I first tried to watch it many years ago, I couldn't get through it. I was just like, I don't know, my palate hadn't developed in like that hokiness of like the 60s, like the like do kind of like scoring or whatever. I was just like, I don't know, I can't do it. But for movies that you're not used to, for movies that I'm not used to, whether it be black and white or subtitled, or just from a different era that I haven't watched a lot of films, I need to watch it for like 15, 20 minutes, like get at least halfway through the first act before I decide whether I like it or not judge it on like the aesthetic of that era, But yeah, no, I definitely recommend it.
It's interesting, that they chose to remake it. Like, out of all those films back then, like there's a lot of similarities between those films back then, but they chose this one. I don't know if it was because of the feminist part of the woman being the girl being the lead character, but I didn't like this one as much. I don't really, and I like the Coen Brothers, but the voiceover I didn't like, and I know what they're trying to do. They were trying to concise the beginning of the movie into a voiceover. Yeah, I didn't like that. I'd rather them just show it. I don't like all the exposition.
I did like that. I don't know.
Some people do. They do, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
them showing like the dad die, it's just like the movie isn't about like the dad dying. It's about like the girl's resolve after her father's death. It's about her and about John Wayne, the Marshalls' affinity for her and their like allegiance together. And there's something that she mentioned in it. It's called Maleficum in se, or male in se. It's like evil for the sake of evil. And it's like, I don't know, it's like a Latin term about that was probably used in law. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, like they're doing like good for the sake of like good. Or John Wayne's character, the Marshall's character, is kind of going against his nature of just collecting money, and he's like doing the right thing, you know. So he is a dynamic character. He kind of goes from being this whiskey drinking bounty hunter to like a hero character. Not that she's like a damsel in distress, like she's, you know, kind of I don't know, I'm thinking of some cliche idiom, but she is trying to get her revenge no matter what, and he at first is doing it for money, and then he decides to do it for moral purposes.
That's what I do like. I like that they picked Jeff Bridges to do Cogburn. I think he does a great job. He's almost better than John Wayne in my eyes. Super interesting, super believable. His delivery, his humor is fantastic. Great sets, amazing lighting all the time. Didn't like the score, and I just felt some of the acting was kind of lifeless.
I liked the scoring, because I thought it was period specific. As far as like the performances, it seems like pardon me, everyone is kind of acting the same. They're not using contractions when they speak. Instead of saying don't or ain't, they're saying do not and like are not or whatever. And everyone has this very rigid way of speaking, but it seems appropriate where people are. Chivalry was big back then, and honor. And again, with the morality, I think that people are behaving in a way where they're trying to be more cultured than they are. They know they're out in the frontier. They know that there's a lot of lawlessness, and they're trying to hold this standard. Subsequently, the dialogue of people speaking in a very proper, rigid way is supposed to reflect that morality. But I don't know, sometimes it's kind of off-putting where every character is speaking like the same kind of way, like kind of Quentin Tarantino movies. And it seems a little stilted as a result. However, I think it kind of works for that female actress, because like her accent, it kind of comes and goes at times. And, you know, she's 14 years old. The actress was actually 14 years old. She's in a Coen Brothers movie with like some heavyweight actors. And having that rigid way of speaking kind of assists her performance of being a little stilted.
Interesting. You know, it's a good point. I also didn't like Matt Damon, but again, it's a Coen Brothers movie. I felt the score was sort of like a rejected Fargo score. Like it just sounded too familiar.
Yeah, it does a little bit. However, I think it's more period specific than the original one, just because of the do-do-do-do.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the to-do. Like like you said, years and years. I'm like, I kind of like that campy, ridiculous. You know, we're off on adventure type music. But again,
it's comforting.
That's what it is. It's a romantic covering. That's what
there's something like nostalgic about it, and it's I don't know, like kind of cartoon-esque. And I do like it. I just don't think that kind of scoring it really like matches, you know, what's going on. Like as far as like the hanging, you know, it's like whatever. However, that was like there was like a carnival-esque kind of mentality that went along with the hanging. Like everyone, let's go watch the hanging or whatever, you know. See, you don't fucking kill people, you don't drink too much, because this is what happens, right?
And then everyone breaks out in line dancing, and you know,
yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said. In
the scope of remakes, I'm glad that it was Coen Brothers. I'm glad that it was Jeff Bridges. Did I feel it was a necessary one to redo? No. Would I recommend it to people? Yeah, because it's Coen Brothers and it's a remake. And on the scope of remakes, pretty darn good.
I love the ending. Because it's somber, and I think that's more appropriate for the subject matter, the serious, like revenge subject matter. And I like how they don't see each other. Like he just like rides the horse to death, like almost walks himself to death, and then delivers her to like the doctors or whatever, and they save her. And I like the fact that she loses an arm. Like it's just like hardcore. Yep. And then like the end song is the beginning song, leaning on the everlasting arms, and she's like missing an arm. and opposed to the happy fairy tale ending of the other one. You know, like the original, I like it a lot, but it's probably G-rated. You know, it's way more like kid friendly, and everything gets wrapped up in a nice little package. Whereas like the other one, it kind of the newer one. It's like unnerving, and it's like, whoa, like that's what revenge is about. It's about like sacrifice, you know, like
and not getting your satisfaction all the time.
Yeah.
No, great ending too for that remake. Yep.
All right, so there's another episode of Film Buff Bros comparing remakes to the original.
Watch, subscribe. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Like, subscribe.
Until the next one.